Hi guys, welcome back to an episode of Cooking with Nico. I know I took a very long break, a little over a year. I had to deal with some personal issues and now I'm back. And this morning, Sunday, I'll be making you my Sriracha glazed chicken and I'll be doing it like a pot roast style. So just follow me over here and I'll tell you what you need. I'll be using some paprika, olive oil, Flora brand Sriracha glaze, freshly ground black pepper, adobo, it's an all-purpose seasoning from Goya, a little bit of pink salt, white cooking wine to help with the marinade, and just some toned rosemary and garlic seasoning blend, vinegar for washing the chicken. Now here I have a chicken that's thawed out. I'm just gonna show you how I remove it, how I clean it, and how I remove the bone in the back so I can do it opened up. I find when I do a roast chicken and it's opened up, it cooks better. And I'll also be doing it in my electric skillet. So see you soon, show you how I do that. What I'll do is I'll cut the chicken here straight down to the back and this other side, and I'll remove this centerpiece, the backbone. And I purchased my chickens from local people. I'm supporting members of my community who are raising chickens. Sometimes the chicken is not to my suit, but you know, just have to work with it. So simple as this. Let me just pop this bone. So I remove this section of the chicken. I save this, I clean up this part and save it for when I'm doing a chicken broth. So you notice now, inside the chicken now is where we're gonna have to do all this extra cleaning. This one isn't so bad, like they got out most if not all of the stuff. I'm just gonna break this bone, this grizzle part there, but I'm not gonna separate the breast portion. I'm just using a knife to just scrape out this section of it here. Get rid of all this unwanted waste. Careful when you're using the knife. Just scrape these sections here. I don't have any lemon, so I'll be using just vinegar to wash this chicken. But what I started to do, I see my aunt does this. She pours her vinegar in a spray bottle and just keep it on the countertop near to the sink. And whatever she's washing, she just always has the vinegar on hand to wash her vegetables and her meat. So I started doing that. So now the chicken is opened. It's nice and clean, not much of anything to take out of it. So now I'm putting it back in my container. I'm gonna have it rinsed. So here we have the chicken. I'm just gonna spray on some vinegar on it. I'm gonna flip it over. Spray some vinegar on it. And then I'm gonna just put it in the sink and wash it. Just have some water in there. This portion, the backbone, I'll be putting it in a Ziploc bag in my freezer. So that's enough. And you just want to take your hand and rub the chicken, get it all nice and clean. Off all those excess skin and unwanted stuff. This has a bit of tear in the skin, but that's how I got it. I didn't rip the skin. Sometimes it's not perfect when your local people do their own chicken, but I'll just work with it nonetheless. Off that excess skin as well. Yeah. In a little while, I'll show you I have another one that I did that was marinating overnight. I'll take that one out and show you what it looks like. They add in a teaspoon of, this is just Tone's rosemary garlic. 1 teaspoon of this. A teaspoon of paprika. I find that smoked paprika is better, but this is the one I have, so that's the one I'll be using. Oh, watch the lump. Usually I don't use the measurements like this, I just pour it out to my own suit, but you guys, I'm doing the measurement for you. And a teaspoon of the adobo all-purpose seasoning. Alright, so the one that I'll show you, the finished seasoned marinated chicken, I did not use pink salt on it. That one is for my boys. They use regular iodized salt. I have a condition called Graves' disease. It's an hyperactive thyroidism caused by Graves' disease. It's an autoimmune sickness. So what happens is I produce too much iodine, and so I have reduced my iodine intake by using pink salt. Iodine is a very important nutrient in your diet, guys, but I just have to watch my iodine intake. So just crush up this a little bit. As for the salt now, I'm just gonna grind some on it to my own taste. You know, those seasonings already have a lot of salt, so I'm just gonna, this is some coarse Himalayan salt. I also have the fine one, but I find that I control it better when I use this. And I'm gonna flip over the chicken and grind on some more. But I have to wash my hand before doing that, because you know that chicken have something called salmonella, so you really have to be careful and not to be touching your seasonings and transferring that bacteria. You can use your regular table salt and some freshly ground black pepper. You can use your regular black pepper. I'm gonna put some more salt on this section as well. I'm kind of slippery, but everything is the same. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just put the salt on this side before flipping it one last time to get the black pepper on the other side. Mix up the cover. Alright, so this one is for this one. And this one. Time for the black pepper. So the same thing again, we have to do. So here remember, I'm going to just use this. I'm just gonna use my tongue, flip it over. Flip, just so. See there? Get some black pepper in here, so. Nice. Alright, so you can do a dry rub as well as you can do a wet rub. rub on the chicken. I'm going to use a wet rub. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So 2 tablespoons is what? 4 teaspoons. 1. And I'm gonna add 1.5 teaspoon of cooking oil. Well, that look like 1 tablespoon. It get away. Nothing wrong with that. And you see the white cooking wine, I find it to be a bit salty too, so just be careful when you're using that. And I'm just gonna combine this. I'm just gonna combine this. I won't be putting the sriracha glaze in as yet. So now I'm gonna add my wet rub onto the chicken. So I'm starting with the inside first. Starting with the inside of the chicken first. Getting a close up. So just gonna rub it all in. And be careful when you're using your fingers to rub this thing in, because sometimes you might find that there are 1 or 2 pieces of sharp bone. And you don't want that to stick you in the fingers, so you rub it on. You flip the chicken over and get some of this all over in there. You can add garlic powder if you wish to this rub, but I'll be putting some pieces of garlic and ginger in my skillet in a bit of oil so I can get out those flavors. So I'm just gonna rub it on. Rub it all over here. Rub it over. See it nice and spread out. Look at that. Same way so it's going on the skillet. But I'm starting it in the skillet, breast down first. And leave this part up. So I'm just gonna set this aside for it. I'll set this aside now for it to marinate for about 20 minutes. But I told you I had one that I pre-prepared last night, so I'm gonna show you what this one looks like. There you have it. And I'm just gonna use this cover, put it on here. Let this one sit in my fridge for about half an hour. And this is what it looks like. Let me see something. And it smells good too. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. I'm just gonna disturb it a bit. Turn it over to see what it's like. See all of that? All these things, the juice is soaking into it from last night. So that's what it looks like. So this is the one. I'll be doing this one in the skillet. And I see if I have a deep enough, big enough pot to put the one I just demonstrated how I season my chicken in for you, and do that one on stove top for those of you who, and you can do it in the oven. It's up to you. It's up to what you have available. I'm not sending you out to go buy no expensive stuff. You know, we're Jamaicans and we know how to improvise. So now I'm just gonna get my skillet set up with my garlic and my ginger. And my friends would say I don't like to use the Jamaican ginger. I know the Jamaican ginger is of a better quality, I just don't like the whole heap of dirt. That's what I don't like about it. So I always use the imported ginger, the foreign ginger. That's the one I buy at the market because it's easier to handle and it's cleaner to me. Use what you like, you know, to each his own. Yes, so now I have my skillet. I've just added a bit of olive oil to it, and I'm gonna turn it on to 250. I'm setting it at 250 to allow that oil to heat up. And then when the oil heats up a bit, I'll be adding an ounce of ginger that I've washed and sliced, and 4 cloves of garlic that I cut in half, and then just 2 sprigs of fresh rosemary out of my flower pot. Yeah. And then I'm gonna put it in the skillet and have it sizzle a little. I'll show you what that looks like. I don't skillet nervous. Yeah, it started heating up. And I'm gonna leave the rosemary, the garlic and the ginger throughout the entire process, because what will happen is it will release its natural flavors and it will become infused in my chicken. Yeah. So as you can see, it's heating up nicely. I'm just bringing it to the center, all of them, so that the flavors can blend. And then I'll be putting the chicken in the center, and I will not be resting my chicken on top of my raw seasonings, my herbs and garlic and stuff. But it really gives off a nice aroma, especially the rosemary. So I find it's heating up nicely. Then when I add the chicken in it, I'll leave it, like I said, breast side down first. Won't be adding any more oil. Breast side down first, and I'll leave that for about 6 to 8 minutes undisturbed for it to just sear in the meat and it gets a bit of color. The paprika is really what adds to the color of the chicken. I don't use browning and soy sauce and those things when I'm doing baked chicken, roast chicken. I don't use soy sauce and browning when I'm doing chicken. When I'm doing chicken, cooking chicken using this method. Okay, so I guess it's hot enough. I'm just gonna push them to the side. Push them off to the side. And now I'm gonna take my chicken. I'm gonna put it freshly down. Just open the lid a bit. Put me like that. Put me like that. Press down and disturb. There you have it. A little bit of cleaning it right here. And clean up as you go along, guys. And if you could just smell that rosemary. Wow. I don't want to put the chicken on the seasoning. I don't want it to give it a burn smell or a burn taste. So I leave it like this and let it get the color, and then I'm gonna cover it. In 8 minutes time I'll come back and flip it and show you what that side looks like. See in a few. So if you look closely in the pot, you'll see what it's looking like. I'm about to flip the chicken now so you can see the other side. In the meantime, I'm getting my pot ready for the pot roast one that will be done on the stove top. Yeah, so that's what happened when I flipped the chicken. You notice the skin here separated, but don't watch that. It will all cook all together. But you see, you have a natural golden brown type color going on, and so I'll just cover it back and allow the other part to cook. So for the remainder of the cooking time, I won't be turning this chicken again. I'll just leave it like this for it to cook. And then what will happen is this sauce, this juice that was left back from the marinade, I will be adding the Sriracha glaze to it and then pouring it on. Each time as the water dries out a bit, From the chicken, I'll just add a little bit of hot water that I have going on the kettle. Alright, so I learned that I have to share my dinner with a friend who isn't well. And my friend doesn't really go too much for rosemary, so this chicken that I'll share with her, I won't be adding the rosemary to the oil, just the garlic and the ginger. Put that in. Let that saute a bit. Get myself turn down this to a really low flame. Like before. And I'm gonna turn on back my pressure with my peas in there. As you know, it's a Sunday, it's a red rice and roaster day. Red rice and peas. So as soon as you start smelling the flavors from the garlic and the ginger emanating from the oil, then you know it's time to put the chicken in. I'm gonna add the chicken in there now. So now I've added the chicken to this and you hear my kettle going. I'm just gonna turn off the kettle. I hope this pot big enough for me because I don't really have a wide enough pot. And I'm gonna add a little hot water to my chicken that's been done in the skillet. Put it to the side. Not a lot. Put it to the side. And then now I'll be adding, you know what, let me add the Sriracha glaze. Sriracha glaze is kind of spicy, but I like it. Sriracha glaze. Sriracha glaze. Yeah, so I've added it to this, and pour my glaze over the chicken. So this is the juices that it was marinated in, that you just add the glaze to it. I'm not gonna turn it again, and I'll show you what to do to know when the chicken is ready. I'll show you that as well. Just pour this on all over the chicken. So it goes under the bottom. In the meantime, I'm gonna do a quick clean up. I'll show you now that this chicken is just about ready. I'm gonna stick the breast. It goes in smoothly, easily, and you realize there is no water coming up from it, no juices coming up from where I stuck the chicken. See? Easy, nice and tender. Straight through and through. In the center, straight through and through without any effort. See? Good. So you know now that that chicken is ready. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just cover it back, and then I'm gonna turn it off and let it sit before I cut it in half and plate it. I'm just gonna turn it off. Okay. The one on the stove top is coming on nicely as well. It's really coming on nicely. Need some more time though. More time for it to cook throughout. Yeah, it's going on well. I'm just gonna check on my peas because I turned off the pressure cooker. And then I'll cut this in half so I can send it away. Yeah, that's what it's coming on, looking really good. So as I was about to lift this off, one of the leg and thigh came off, so you know it's properly cooked. See, look how easy it's falling off. Let me just give it a little tug. So there you have it, nicely roasted through and through. Ooh, I'll just rest this piece here. I'll make my own gravy because this is really spicy. I had put some cayenne pepper when I was doing this marinade, so I know it's gonna be a whole lot of spicy. So let me just clean up my dish. Here you have it. Looking nice and delicious, right? My Sriracha glazed chicken. Woo. Oh, get out of here, you nasty. Here's one that was done in the pot. See? Come out really nice. You realize that it's pulling apart as well. And like I said before, I'll do my demonstration for you. When you stick the breast, you don't see any fluids coming out. It's nice and moist, cooked through and through. Easy, easy. Easy like cheese. Yeah, so I'm gonna remove this from this pot and containerize it because I'm sending this one away for a friend. Yes guys, so I've completed my task. I hope you enjoyed my video. So to my left here, I have the pot roasted Sriracha glazed chicken that was done on the stove top, and this one is the other one that I did in my electric skillet. Both are looking fabulously. When I plate it, I'll let you see a video of what that looks like. I'll be doing some green peas and corn with some cucumbers for my salad, and I'm gonna finish up my rice and peas. Thanks for watching. My next picture would be of the plated product. Remember to share my video with your friends, like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and later on today I'll share another video with you, a natural immune booster.